And welcome back, guys, to another episode of Katawa Shoujo. In the last part, Lily had a really weird outburst, and I sort of made a small prediction about maybe what's going on, but we'll just have to continue on to figure that out. After a quiet walk in, we eventually reach the top of the third floor stairs in the junction where we part every day. I turn to Lily before she leaves. While I do like the comfortable and warm silence we usually share, this was anything but. I don't want to leave things like this. You seem quieter than usual recently. Is anything wrong? She shakes her head almost automatically, as if to dispel any notion that I need to worry about her. It's just the exams taking their toll. I'll be fine. I don't think that's the reason. I fairly nearly say so, but decide against it. There's no point trying to draw it out of her if she does want to tell me, especially when she's in a foul mood like this. If you're sure, I'll see you later then. As I turn down the hall to go to my classroom, Lily's soft voice rings out from behind me. Hisao, yeah? I'm sorry. With that, Lily makes off down the hallway to her own classroom, her hand skating along the metal railing. I stand still and watch her until she turns into her classroom and out of sight, before going to my own class with a fair measure of reluctance. As usual, I'm early. Muto is fiddling with folders and papers on his desk, and he prepares for the day while a handful of students mill about, chatting away. While my feelings about Lily haven't anticipated, far from it, her mention of my exam performance did remind me that I have my own life's journey to attend to. After thinking about it, I have realized that I do genuinely want to pursue science in some form of a career, rather than it simply being the path of least resistance. Until now, though, I didn't have much of an idea where in the field I wanted to go. Just science is a pretty broad category for jobs. Something Lily mentioned earlier focused my thoughts, something I'd like to idly ponder about before I had not seriously considered following this specific path. I walk up to Muto's desk, his attention too focused on preparing for the day's lessons to notice my approach. It's the same every day. Good morning. He looks up with an expression of mild surprise that's quickly replaced by his typical awkward smile.
Good morning, Nakai. Can I help you?
Do you mind if I ask you something? He looks down at his messy pile of books on the desk before putting down the papers in his hand and standing up with some difficulty to properly address me.
That's what I'm here for, after all. Ask away.
I was just wondering, what would you say is the motivation behind teaching? He thinks on this question for a few moments before responding, evidently far from having a prepared answer.
If you talk to 10 different teachers, I think you'll get 10 different answers to that question. While I can only speak for myself, I say that I teach because...
He sinks into thought again, carefully assessing the way he wishes to present his idea.
Think of it this way. When you were a child, you probably played with sticks and pebbles in moving water, such as the gutters or the puddle, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that when they're young.
Well, it's not just when they're young for some, though it does take on another form. My point is, though, that when one is doing that, they're curious about how the water will flow or be changed. Everyone, even at that young age, possesses an intense wonderment about how the world around them works, even in its smallest forms. I still feel that sense of wonderment about the universe. Even just reading about new discoveries or classic experiments gives me a renewed sense of awe at how marvelous everything is, from the farthest stars to the smallest puddle. I just hope that I can give others even a small piece of that wonderment I feel. If I can do that, even if it's just for one person, I think I could be happy as a teacher.
He scratches his head as he mentally reviews what he said. I feel like I understand him better now. Even if he's awkward around others, he does have a genuine want to be around them and offer them a piece of his self that he values. What Lily told me yesterday rings in my ears. I think you get along well with others. Huh. She always did say I was unusually curious.
Sorry if that was a little meandering. Does it answer your question?
It does. Thank you. I also had another question, actually.
Oh? What might that be?
Do you have any college brochures or guides? It's about time I started getting some applications in. He nods and bends down to look inside his desk. As he does so, I notice that he is wearing a remarkably genuine smile. I don't think I've ever really seen him act this natural around others. Perhaps this isn't Muto, the teacher, but rather Muto the person.
Here, if you need any more, feel free to ask.
He hands me about half a dozen brochures and booklets of various colors and sizes, which I take eagerly. Yes, it will be this information which I'll use to forge my own future. I think now, after all this time and all these trials, I can finally start to see the big picture of my life ahead of me. My body may be like this, but my mind is still very much able. Thank you. That's good. Good old Hisao is he got the teacher bug. I had that once. This is strange. That single thought has graced my mind a countless number of times since my life here began. It feels like an easy way to discard a troubling question, as if simply labeling something with those 3 words will make it go away, or at least not worth thinking about any further. My life before my heart attack feels more blurry every time I try to remember it, and my mind struggling to keep up with all the events suddenly happening around me since. I heard somewhere that this is what it feels like to be left stranded in a country with only the most basic understanding of the local language. Indeed, when I think about it, that seems a marvelous apt analogy for what's happened to me. But such situations are also supposed to make you very capable in that language very fast, as you're forced to learn it in order to survive. But another way, the situation became sink or swim. I wonder if I've really managed to swim after all this time. The exams are stressing me out a lot, even though they've kindly come to an end. But I have remained in Muto's favor, and I have some sort of direction for my future now. But I keep using that stupid, meaningless phrase. This is strange. It really is amazing how fast one comes to accept being surrounded by people with some incredibly jarring disabilities and conditions. So much so that I really wonder why I feel so much like a foreigner. It certainly isn't for lack of socialization or friends. I've come to know most of my classmates on first-name terms, and know a few others around the school. Whether they're missing an arm or leg, the students here are just like anyone else of their age. I can navigate the halls that I once lost myself in with an ease I'd not expected to ever have, thanks to the school's logical layout, and can engage my teachers in comfortable discussion. I swirl around gently the tea in my cup, the reflecting image of my face becoming distorted by the moving liquid. This is strange. I used to hate drinking tea. Maybe I'm thinking too much. The familiar sound of china rattling from a teacup touching an accompanying saucer rings out. Is something the matter? Don't worry, it's nothing. I take a long sip of the tea in front of me as the girls do, just whiling away the time in Lily's room sipping the tea with her and Hanako. I feel familiar, almost nostalgic. So, how's your work in the newspaper club going, Hanako? I wanted to know too. It sounds like it would be quite interesting. Hanako's face turns down at the attention placed upon her, though her smile belies the fact that she genuinely likes being the center of interest for the two of us.
It's good. I think I'm getting better at it. Naomi and a couple of her friends handle most of the jobs, getting stories and stuff. I just do the computer things, like putting the stories together and getting it printed. It's nice, since I can sit and concentrate.
I see Lily's low-tech nature isn't shared by Hanako. While sitting in a room, compiling other people's newspaper articles into documents doesn't strike me as overly outgoing. It is heartening to see her widening her circle of friends. Baby steps, I guess. It's probably a bit much to be expecting her to become a socialite like Lily.
How are you finding Naomi? I've heard she can be quite troublesome at times.
And Lily's going into her mothering mode over Hanako. Letting go of her is something she's had to learn. Hanako scratches her cheek, thinking on the answer.
Naomi's nice. She's a bit loud sometimes and a bit tiring, but she's really helpful. Her friends are nice too.
That's wonderful to hear, Hanako. I'm glad you found a source of such enjoyment. Lily's smile is warm and genuine, but I can sense a touch of wistfulness to it as well. Hanako seems to miss that entirely, but I don't think for a second that I'm imagining it. I suppose it's because I've slowly come to pay more and more attention to everything going on around me. With things seemingly happening faster and faster, it feels like I'll miss something if I'm not as observant as possible. With the exams, my newfound love life, trying to fit in some study regarding my options for college and university, and my heart condition applying the brakes on everything at irritably random times, my brain's been in overdrive recently. It makes me appreciate the rare quiet times such as these. I guess this is why Lily came to appreciate her weekly walks to the convenience store and her tea parties with Hanako, despite her like of being surrounded by others. They gave her a moment of peace in a chaotic and busy life. Thank God the exams are over, eh? Are you Canadian or are you American there, Sal? Or A? The comment draws an earnest chuckle from both of the girls. It seems like everyone's been a lot happier since the exams ended last week. Oh wow, it's been a week. Holy crap. This is why I always like when they show the date and stuff, because then we know how long it's been in the game, so we get a sort of a bearing. It's not just sort of like, oh yeah, by the way, a week has passed.
So what are you doing for summer holidays?
Oh, sorry. Blah, that's the wrong voice completely. So what are you doing for the summer holidays, Hanako? Only, I quickly count the days in my head. Today's Monday and school finishes on Saturday. 5 days to go after that, after all.
I was thinking of traveling, just around a bit. There's a lot of places I want to see, and I think I have enough money to pay for the bus and train rides. Naomi and one of the other girls in the news club said they might come along too.
Her look indicates she's given the matter quite a lot of thought. I'm kind of surprised that she's contemplating something like this. It seems she really's become intent on striking out on her own.
Is there anywhere in particular you're thinking of going? I was thinking that Kyoto sounds nice. I think I'll try to go to a few places, though.
Lily nods in approval, happy with Hanako's plans. While I cast my eyes to Lily, I refrain from asking her the same question. She's been evasive with her plans for the future for a long time now, but I never seem to get a good time to broach the subject alone with her. Every time it comes up in conversation, it feels like she's either unsure of herself or simply dodging the question. It's troubling. Be sure to call sometime while you're out and about. I gave you my number before, right? Hanako gives a quick nod, a happy smile on her face. It's strange to see how happy people seem to become when they have a goal to work towards. Yuko seems to brighten whenever her university aspirations are brought up, and now Hanako is just the same. So why do I still feel this uncertainty? And why Lily too? Relationships really can be irritatingly troublesome sometimes.
Oh, what time is it?
Oh. It takes me a second to remember that Lily's clock doesn't have any visual feedback. I really should know, given how many times I've been in her room. Nevertheless, I take my watch from my bag and quickly check it. The reason for her asking becoming clear. It's about 20 past 10, nearly curfew. Hanako rises to her feet, dusting herself off and kneading her gown. After doing so,
I better be going then. Good night, Lily. Hisao.
sleep well, Hanako. See you tomorrow. With that, she walks to the door and quietly makes her exit. Silence. It seems to be happening more and more between Lily and me recently. After a few seconds, I finally find something to talk about. Oh yeah, I talked to Muto on Friday and finally checked out some guides on college and how to apply for it. That's good news. You're going to be applying for colleges? I assume you have some idea in mind of what you might do in the future? I think I've settled on becoming a science teacher. It's going to take a while to get through university and everything to be qualified, but I think it'll be worth it. Lily's face brightens considerably at the news. I suppose, with her wish to become a teacher, she's delighted I'd take the same kind of path.
So you decided on a career of teaching. I think that path suits you most excellently, Hisao.
I smile and nod. It's this time, even if I know she can't see me doing so, I know she feels it.
I imagine Muto would have taken to the news well.
That's one word for it. Hey, Lily?
Yes?
I know you want to be a teacher, but for a second I wonder whether I should really ask her the question on my mind, but that's quickly brushed aside by the fact that this is a rather late to have a second thoughts.
Surely you don't still think I'd be offended by something regarding my blindness.
Her accusing tone is betrayed by her grin face. Amused by my awkwardness in raising the topic, some things never change. Good point, I guess. I was just thinking whether or not being blind would be a hindrance. What's with your ambitions to become a teacher and all? She looks mildly surprised before giving the question some thought. I refuse to think she's never actually pondered this issue before.
I wonder, Hisao, could you close your eyes for a moment?
Okay. Raising my eyebrow, I do as she requests. I have no idea what she has in mind, and my questions only increase as I peek out one eye. Taking the black ribbon she usually wears in her hair from the cabinet beside her bed, she advances towards me while running it through her fingers to remove any stray hairs remaining on the piece of cloth. Yeah, close your eyes again. You're being cheeky. Just because she can't see your eyes open doesn't mean she can't hear you blinking, dude. I suddenly click onto her intention as I feel the black strip make contact with my face, wrapping around my head and over my eyes. What exactly is this for?
It's a little test, Hisao. Since you seem to be wondering, I'll let you see things as I do for a time.
Huh. So that's what this is about. To be honest, this actually sounds kind of fun. Childish and rather silly to anyone who would be watching, but a bit of silly fun never hurts anyone. I stand up with a heave, my hands quickly moving out in front of me to warn me of any obstacles. Okay, now what?
Now touch me.
If you say so. Now then. I slowly make my way forwards towards the sound of Lily's voice. My walking speed could barely even be called a shuffle, the entire experience feeling alien enough that I don't want to risk inadvertently tripping over anything, such as her table or her haphazard pile of books. Something soft, yet solid, brushes against my left leg. Further inspection reveals it to be Lily's bed. I move onward, finding myself thankful that Lily's room is so neat and tidy. Even the piles of books she has are generally kept close to the wall, well out of harm's way. The hard wall pressing against my outstretched hand makes me furrow my brow in frustration. Hey, Lily, where are you?
What are you doing over there? I'm over here.
Lily's voice coming from the other side of the room, far from where it was before. Even to my untrained ears, if she's going out of her way to avoid me reaching her, then this is just a game to her? Of course it is. Compared to a life where even the concept of sight is an abstract one, a few minutes in a blindfold are nothing. I guess she made her point. She's more than capable of navigating her room, and further, I've seen how independent she is even when compared to the many others in Yamaku. I guess we'll continue this little adventure in the next episode. So take care, guys, and stay frosty.